Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Geezers. Welcome to another episode of the show. And look who showed up in the co-captain's chair today, Mr. Kirk Manny. What's going on, my friend?
Hanging in there, my friend. Hanging in there.
You knew I'd be talking to you soon, right? Because, of course, you and Bill went to that Clifton comic convention a couple weeks ago, which I couldn't make. And I know he's already showed off some of his goodies. So it was only a matter of time before we got you here to show off some of the stuff you picked up at the Clifton Con, as well as I think you've been busy getting stuff from other sources too. So Kirk's here, a little show and tell day today, right?
Yep. Well, you know what it is? It's kind of like I've been picking a little here and there, nothing crazy. Got to do the house bills before you go and buy comic books for some reason.
Tax season, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I do a lot of independent contracting work, so that never is a good thing.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? But you got to pay the IRS. They got no sense.
I know. There's no way around it, unfortunately.
So, but yeah, Bill and I had a good time. We hooked up. We went down. It's a great show. $5 to get in. I mean,
can't be
blunt. Like, it's cheaper than a movie. You walk around, you talk to people. Most of the guys are really nice. A lot of old timers. And I'll be honest, it's a comic book convention, not a con where it's like, oh my God, that's a person from the reality show or some guy who dresses up like as a stormtrooper. It was just comic books for comic book guys. So it was nice.
No cosplay, no toys, none of that nonsense, right? Yeah.
You saw a couple little things here and there, but if you saw, it was more like instead of Marvel action figures that were made 3 years ago, it was a G.I. Joe from the 70s or the $6 Million Man,
The old Mega stuff and all that, yeah.
Yeah. The stuff that we're like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I will look at this. So it was nice, I was in control a little bit better though, because I was kind of like I was looking at stuff and so I was able to find a few things. Okay. Well, the first thing I did was, and I'll show these together as a group, I think, probably the best way to do it, is I finished off, I've been collecting, I collect a lot of old DC stuff from the 70s. I like anything that's got a good 20 center, but I like this series. I think this is the last of it. I'm pretty sure I finished it finally, and it's called Wanted. I don't know if you ever saw these.
No.
It's a DC reprint book. All it was Golden Age stories. As you see, it's like a Golden Age Batman story, Green Arrow story, and Green Lantern story. I mean, the characters are pretty, Signal Man, Clock King. I mean, they're still, but to me, these were stories like, again, we were talking before about how you miss an issue or whatever, and that was it. These were stories from the 40s and 50s that I'd never had a chance to read, and there were no graphic novels, omnibuses or anything like that. You wanted to read these stories. If they were reprinted, that was pretty much it. So I got that one. Another one where, again, you definitely see like Batman versus the Joker and the Penguin, the Flash versus the Trickster. I mean,
this is more centered on like really cool villain stories, right? For the most part.
Yeah, it was, but too, to be blunt, I think DC was smart. They were looking at factors like, how can we generate a book where we don't have to pay anybody anything? We can produce it. They owned the rights to these stories. They had them in their archives. They were like, you know what, we'll just print these out. It's free money. So it didn't last long. It only lasted like 7 issues. And I think they were trying to figure out what characters would sell. I mean, this has got the Vigilante, the original Golden Age Vigilante. It looked more like a cowboy. I like the character, but I like the Golden Age characters. Doc Fade, the original Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Again, they're Wanted, the Human Fly Gang. I mean, it's horrible. Some of these characters are just so cheesy, but they're awesome. I am a big fan of Golden Age Green Lantern. So, I mean, he had to be a little colorblind because, I mean, that is a pretty rough costume, but I just like the character. And Solomon Grundy is another. I have
Solomon Grundy's great. Yeah.
And Kid Eternity, like nobody, like I'll be honest, it's one of those characters. Most people go, Kid who? He didn't get much of a big following. He's an old quality character that came over. I love him. He would say eternity, and he could bring people back from the dead, and he could walk through walls like a ghost because he was supposedly killed before his time and brought back to Earth. You know, but it was a great character. I loved it. Another quality character too, Doll Man.
Oh,
And,
Dolman, yeah.
and then you've got this, you know, the more modern Hal Jordan Green Lantern. And then you go into Starman and Wildcat. And again, these books are pretty cheap. You get them for a couple of bucks. I hate to say it, not a lot of people look at it. And, you know, they're a great sample of those Golden Age stories. And then Johnny Quick and Hourman. Again, I like the old JSA characters. So if you like them and you want to read some of these Golden Age stories and not drop a lot of cash, you kind of get them cool because, no offense, I love 20-cent books. I don't, the whole, you know, it just, they're great reads.
That was the era, right? You know,
Yeah, I mean, it lasted 7 issues. It was a really good run, in my opinion. So I don't know. I give it 2 thumbs up. And again, because I mentioned Kid Eternity before, I bought this, and I was disappointed. But just life is disappointment sometimes. This is the last time DC tried to bring back Kid Eternity. They revamped him as part of the New 52. I should have known I was in trouble as soon as I bought something from the New 52, but you know, I paid $1 for it, and I figured, you know what, let me read it to you. It wasn't horrible, but it just didn't really. I think I probably spent 50 cents too much on
too
it.
much. Yeah, that cover is kind of like a warning sign, right? That's like, yeah.
I you know, it's like one of those things where you're like, your gut tells you, like, I like this character. I know they're not going to do it right, but I got to see what they do anyways. And then you're like, and then you read it and you're like, wow, I knew what I was getting into, but.
Well, thankfully, you only paid $1 for it.
And that's it. Well, I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a sucker when it comes to $1. Like someone says, oh, it's $1. I'm like, well, all right, then I'll throw $1. Because you're like, what that worst case, I'll turn it into a coaster or something, or give it.
That's all. Yeah, that's it.
I also picked up, because it wouldn't be a con without me getting a Vampirella book.
There you go. I knew that was coming. Nice.
This is number 8. Guy I bought off was really nice. He was like, he gave it to me for $10. So I was kind of like, I couldn't beat that. I was like, all right. And it's a decent deal. I love, you can see a magazine for 50 cents too. I don't know if you can see it there, a little 50-cent mark, but the art, the painted covers and everything.
Yeah.
Because again, the 70s, what a great era for books. And because Bill and I, when we go out, we're always talking treasury editions. I had to get one more.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And this is a good run too, because all it is origins on all the supervillains. So they did 2 of these. They did Secret Origins for supervillains, and then more. I don't have the first one yet. I'm still working on it. But yeah, that was about it. I blew some money. I think I blew like $40 and walked out.
That's not bad. That's a pretty small haul for one of these things, right?
Yeah.
Bill, I think Bill said he only spent like about $110 or $130, something like that, which I think for him is, or I think that's what he said.
Yeah, he didn't. Both of us agreed. We didn't go crazy. We wandered around. We talked with people more than anything else. And Bill can talk to anybody.
No, yeah.
So we shot the bull. We kind of hung out with some guys, talked a little shop, and then got out. We were there for 2 or 3 hours. It wasn't too bad.
That's not too bad.
But a lot of stuff to look through, and as I said too, a little for everybody, So.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can go to one of the next ones. I know there's one coming up. I think it's this weekend, right? Is it this weekend or is it last weekend?
I think it was last weekend, because I know Bill asked me again. I was surprised because he was like, "Do you want to go back?" And I was like, "Dude, I got too many balls rolling right now. I can't. I don't have the time." And I felt bad, but it's like, I don't know if he went without me. He might have.
I don't think he did. No, I don't think he did. So, well, maybe in May, I may want to go to that because it's.
Yeah, all right, keep me in mind, because definitely I would jump on the boat, go do another run. As I said, $5, even if you don't have a lot in your pocket, it's kind of like there's a lot of dollar books and stuff to look through. I hate to say it though, it's a sign that I'm getting older. The books I want are definitely not in the dollar bin.
No, that's the problem now, right? And most of I filled in so many holes in my collection that now the stuff that I really want are the pricier ones. So it's like I tend to buy less volume but more in value, right? So
And but I think that's where I am too. I'm kind of looking at the fact that like I pick a book here or pick a book there instead of buying a stack. You end up getting a couple of things that you really want.
yeah, yeah.
It's the same price as a stack of the cheap stuff, but
Yeah, true. So, but that's what's great about these cons, because you can go and you can spend a couple hours and you can really, especially like a show like that where most of the vendors have, kind of the stuff that we're looking for. So you go from booth to booth, table to table, and you really look and see, you got your list with you. You look and you see what's there, and you find the best deals, and you say, okay, well, what do I want the most today? And you go from there. The last couple that I've been to, that's exactly what I did. And but I remember like a couple of years ago, God, Bill and I would go and we each buy like 150 comics. And it's just like, and by the time you get home, you look and you're like, did I really need half of these? I don't know. I bought them anyway, right? Because I didn't have them. Now it's like I go and I'm looking for very, very specific stuff now. But you do that all the time anyway. So you're a little bit smarter than we are, I think.
well, you know what it is as I said, for years I had a room that was literally filled with comic books, and you start realizing, like, does anybody really need a full run of like Quasar or,
Human
Spider-Woman? I'm like, there's just some stuff that you're like, why do I even have this?
Yeah.
And so you try to sell it off. I sold off a lot of stuff that I'm like, boom, because the truth is, when I pass, I'm like, who's going to do this? My children aren't into this. So it's kind of like, I mean, we could do a Viking funeral, just pile the comic books, throw me on top and drop a match. But I know my wife is smart enough to be like, no.
Those are worth something. Yeah.
Yeah. She'll be like, we'll sell that. We're going to, we'll get the box.
We'll send him off on the raft, but the comic thief here, we got to get someone in here to assess this stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, well, that's what being a collector is all about, right? So
True.
All right, everybody, there you have it. Some cool new things that Kirk has picked up of late, and hopefully I'll be able to join in on the fun of this, because it's been a while since I've done one of these episodes. But we'll be back at you soon with more stuff here on Comic Book Users. Thanks for watching, everybody, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and the notification bell so you get alerted every time we post a video, though it's generally every Wednesday and Friday. We're pretty predictable around here at Comic Book Users. So for Kirk Manning, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week with more stuff on the channel. Take care.